truths, what we are experiencing in the country, truths and half-truths, Kenya and politics today. My guest in studio, Kelvin Nyamache, who is leadership and policy analyst. He's also motivational speaker par excellence, and he'll be telling us more. He'll give us a motivation, right? You need to motivate us. You are not running away from that.
Absolutely.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
You're well?
I am well. How about you?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And as well as Wafula Mutacho, he is the Ford Kenya chairman, Trans Nzoia County. I say that he is number 3 in the hierarchy of governance. If you know, you know. Umwami.
Yes.
We share papa.
Sierra
Uriho.
Ndio. Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Asante sana.
Yes.
So gentlemen, we are still waiting for Dr. Richard Busire. He's just signaled me that he's stuck somewhere in between the traffic, but he'll be here shortly. So Dr. Richard Busire is a lecturer of political science at the University of Nairobi. He'll be joining us shortly. But the show is on the road. Let's get it moving. On the front page of the local dailies, let me start with the front page of the Star newspaper. Why Mudavadi is on shaky ground ahead of 2027 polls. That is what I have there. Why Mudavadi is on shaky ground ahead of 2027 general election, or poll if you want. It's because of the strategic missteps such as folding his party have left him vulnerable and created a vacuum others are just clamoring to fill. That is also on the front page of the Star newspaper. Trump card, talk of Ruto, Raila ticket sparks debate. That is what is here. The possibility of a joint ticket for President Ruto and veteran opposition leader Raila Odinga in 2027 has sent shockwaves, with observers saying that it has the potential to redefine the election. Okay, that is what is here on the front page of the Star newspaper. Very quickly, Kelvin, what do you make of this headline on the front page of the Star? Why Mudavadi is on shaky ground ahead of 2027 polls?
You know, we remember Mudavadi as a man who has always been fighting for Kenyans, especially presenting himself as a voice of reason.
Yes.
And now he finds himself in a government that presents a kind of catch-22 situation, where the people are saying that this government has let us down. It is not serving us what it did promise. And then this government is not doing this and that. Now we have Mudavadi here with his party, and then his followers are looking up to him and they're saying that we don't want you to be there. We don't want you to, you know, we want our party to speak her voice as it is. We want our party to stand her ground and the ideals with which it was founded. And now Mudavadi is in government and is serving the government and is serving, and also serving the party leader of the ruling party. Now, he finds himself in a very quagmire kind of situation whereby now he doesn't know exactly whether to merge the two parties, that's the ruling party and this party, to work together as one faction, or to make a decision ahead of.
He had already folded the party.
polls.
ANC was folded, and now it belongs to it's an amorphous. It doesn't exist anymore. Wafula, it doesn't exist anymore, and that is why perhaps he finds, based on what's on the front page of the Star newspaper, it's something that was spoken even during that process of folding his party. So it's coming out right now, months later, that when you go to Western Kenya, not Western Kenya per se, but we all know Musalia Mudavadi as a party leader of ANC.
Yes.
He is a force to reckon with, so to speak. And being partyless, what do you make of that?
You know,
you are also in the process of folding Ford Kenya.
No, I told you here.
You did not.
I told you here that for Kenya we are not going to fold the party. with so many reasons.
But there was that pressure. There was that pressure.
Yes,
ANC and Ford Kenya to fold, both
pressure.
parties.
I accept there was that pressure. But I told you in this sitting that Ford Kenya, we are not going to fold our party. But anyway, I beg to differ with the headline of the Star newspaper that Mudavadi is on a shaky ground the next general election. I don't think that way. I know very well the person who was pushing Mudavadi in a tight corner was the Rigiji. But now, since the Rigiji is not there, I think the biggest lieutenant of President Ruto is Mudavadi. Mudavadi is the only person now the president can bang on proper, elusive advice to this country. Yes, it is Mudavadi. And that is why you can see he's moving out of the country frequently for international mediation and whatever. And I think when I go deeper, though I'm not fully there, but when I go deeper, I can see Mudavadi contribute a lot to the sitting of PSS. Yeah, frequently. He directs what to for them what to do, what they are not supposed to do.
Yeah.
So Mudavadi, I don't think, even if he folded his party right now in UDA, I think maybe because they have not given him a position, but he stands a better position as a deputy party leader. And also, come 2027, he'll be on a right way negotiating table.
How so?
Yeah, because last general election, we came in as a partner.
He will be in a position to negotiate on which platform?
Inside the party UDA. Now as a deputy party leader. Right? You know, he's very clever. This newspaper, this headline, no, I beg to differ with it.
Wait a minute. As a new deputy party leader of which party?
Yeah, of course, UDA. He dissolved his party to join UDA.
Deputy party leader is the deputy president.
Of course, there is that provision of several deputy party leaders. Yeah.
What are you trying to preempt? Because there is no such kind of arrangement as we speak.
I know it will be there because now the former Rigiji who was pushing Mudavadi astray from the party, and you know, he was using Malala right from the beginning. That's why he lured Malala from ANC to UDA as a Secretary General. That was right way clear. And after things went highway, you can see Malala now is working with him as a deputy party leader. He was a project of Malala. Just like now in Trans Nzoia, when we see things evolving with our governor, is also a project of Rigiji. So these things are very clear, Victor. We have been in politics and we know, and the goodness, I'm an investigator, I know how to analyze this.
Tell us more about that, because in as far as we are concerned, Governor Natembeya, is facing different charges.
Yes,
right?
I know.
So why is he a project? Why are you saying that he's a project of former deputy president?
You know, Victor, I didn't want to dwell in that so much.
But it's okay, you've started it.
But I can just give you a hint of it. There is a time when the president visited Trans Nzoia County. After almost 4 days, the president left Trans Nzoia, and then he later traveled outside the country. In less than 4 days, deputy president came to Trans Nzoia again. Now, to me as an investigator, I was asking myself, what did the president forget to tell Trans Nzoians? Now he has sent deputy president in a span of 4 days. That was a question mark to me. Now, when the deputy president came, former deputy president came to Trans Nzoia, he met in a close room with the governor. And they went and have a meeting, an open meeting, public meeting. The following day, that is when the beginning of Natembeya abusing Wetangula, Natembeya abusing Mudavadi, abusing Ford Kenya, our party, and everything. You can now start analyzing yourself, even as a small kid can analyze. Then where is this force coming from?
Okay. Okay. Let's come back to the Mudavadi factor in 2027 general election. We know that ANC has only one governor, that is Lamu governor. So how is he going to negotiate?
You know, when you are supporting a party to win the president, to win the next general election, that party, of course, have a base to win more seats because everybody want to incline with that party.
Okay.
So that is why more governors and member of parliament won through a UDA. But now, in this case now, the way I see Mudavadi, I know Mudavadi, you've never sat with him very close. It's somebody who thinks some miles ahead.
Yeah.
And the way I say, he wants to be right in the negotiating table, 2027. Even if the Agwambo team is coming, he is positioned to be there seated. You understand?
Okay.
Victor?
Yes. If maybe
Yes,
you'll allow me to interject. Me thinks Mudavadi could have been in a better position to negotiate if he had his own party. But now what's happening here, we have observed time without number, the unpredictable political matrix where you go to the negotiating table with what you can offer because you can just be left somewhere in the crossroads. Now he doesn't have his own party, and then he only has got one governor, and then his followers might also move to other factions to support other personalities in that realm. We might experience a situation where Mudavadi will just be left on the road because now because he of course him being in UDA party and having folded his party doesn't actually make him a deputy party leader because that one is not recorded. So he can't say that I will negotiate from within the party just because I have been part and parcel of this journey, and I'm one of the persons who came up with this policy, and this policy shaped this politics this way and that way, because now it will be just a game of numbers. What are you bringing at the table, especially from your community?
Now, Victor,
it could be compared even nationally, even your community, nationally speaking. But again, Wafula, political parties are meant to negotiate, as he puts it, to negotiate, to gain,
power, of course,
to negotiate for power, and to amass numbers, all right, and resources. So if you don't have a political party, let's not sugarcoat it. People said that former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua suffered the same fate because he went to the election without a political party. Now, why didn't you not fold Kenya?
No,
why were the reasons why didn't fold Kenya?
We have some different reasons why we should not fold Kenya.
You mind sharing with us?
In this case, for Mudavadi, I think he wants to negotiate it the way Rigiji negotiated with Ruto the last general election. And you see, he negotiated heavily when he was inside without a party. But the danger of joining without a party, now that is what he has experienced now. Yeah, that is the danger. But now, toward the last part of President Ruto, I don't think if it will have big harm to Mudavadi, if now he doesn't have a party but he's negotiating for the community. It will serve him better if he can negotiate the way Rigiji negotiated with Ruto last general election.
Okay, great. Gentlemen, let's talk about some other newspapers here. On the front page of the Daily Nation and the Standard are more or less the same thing. The front page of the Daily Nation, 2 words, 1 sentence. The commanders. 2 words, 1 sentence. The commanders. The 3 gentlemen on the front page today are Douglas Kanja, who is Inspector General of Police. We have got Eliud Lagat, who is Deputy Inspector General of Police, and Mohammed Amin, Directorate of Criminal Investigations boss. And now, the much talked about gentleman here is this, Albert Ojwang, who died hours after he was taken into police custody. Police Inspector General Douglas Kanja said that the complainant was his Deputy Inspector General Police, Lagat. That was during a press conference yesterday at Central Police Station. And so security chiefs are under pressure to resolve the mysterious death of Albert Ojwang, a Voi-based teacher and a blogger, an incident that has so far sparked nationwide outrage. Ojwang died hours after his arrest by detectives investigating a complaint by their boss, Mr. Lagat. The story continues on page 2 and page 3. You can take a look at that. And of course, Nation has outlined the timeline and the chronology of what really happened from the moment he was arrested until the moment he was pronounced dead. On the top header there, President's mounting debt headache. We are headed, gentlemen, to the next financial budget cycle. That is on Thursday. We'll be starting another one, 2025-2026. The bill, the proposal is out there. Teachers issue strike warning overpay. All right. Very fast, on the front page of the Standard, more or less the same as the Daily Nation. That is also on the front page of the Standard, the commanders. Blood on their hands. Or it's the same as what we have on the Daily Nation. Blood on their hands. The three gentlemen, this one is slightly different. We don't have the Police Inspector General of Police here. But who we have here today is Mr. Stephen Okal, OCPD, Nairobi Central Police Station. And we have got Mr. Eliud Lagat, who is the Deputy Inspector General Police, and of course, Mohammed Amin, who is the DCI boss. The presence of DIG Police Service, Eliud Lagat, at a press conference where the IG mentioned his complainant, has now at the center of investigations into the death of influencer Albert Ojwang was a show of impunity. That is according to the Standard. In civilized democracies, the DIG should have resigned after his name was name cropped up in accounts of explaining the death of at a police station. DCI Mohammed, whose officers tortured Ojwang at Nairobi Central Police boss OCPD, should also be held responsible. That is what's on the front page of the Standard newspaper. But gentlemen, let's just come back to this. Of course, it's something that is widely talked about.
Yeah.
The police torture, extrajudicial killings. And this one is the mystery surrounding the death of this gentleman. The truth is not yet known out there. Postmortem was supposed to be done, but it's so far been postponed. So we're still waiting for a conclusive report. But let me come back to you, Kevin.
Yes,
what do you make of this?
Yesterday, I watched the father of Ojwang regale his side of story, how he brought up Ojwang as his only child. No other siblings, and how he suffered. I went to school, and how as a family, they anticipated that one day Ojwang will at least, get their family out of poverty. And then Ojwang publishes information which touches on the deputy IG, and the deputy IG deems the information to be defaming him, and then he must have instructed that the guy be arrested. So they go to Homa Bay, where he had gone to meet his family. They pick him up from there, they take him to a police station, and they assure the father that your son is going to be safe. And the father believes them because the son is in the hands of the state, and if they find him with, if they find him guilty, he'll be taken actually to court, and then the courts will decide. And then another thing happens. Now he's being transported all the way from Homa Bay to Nairobi, a distance of 350 kilometers, and then the following day, he's dead. The country is bleeding, and as especially the young people of this country, we are at crossroads now. We don't know exactly where to belong, whether to always stand our ground and speak our hearts as the Constitution dictates. And you can see that young people are furiated. Everybody's mad in the entire country. And as Francis Imbogo actually opines in Betrayal in the City, that when the madness of an entire nation disturbs a solitary mind, it is not enough to say that man is mad. So we are looking at scary days ahead if this thing is going to continue. This is a time bomb. Lest the government addresses this situation as it is, lest the government gives us information as it is, our country is headed down the river, and that will be a very sad situation, which I don't pray we find ourselves in.
All right. On that note,